Yo, what's going on, guys? Hope you had a good day. We are still pushing higher here. Going into tomorrow, actually over the weekend and remember on Friday, I expected more bullishness. Remember, I said I at least wanted to get us tapped into this daily volume imbalance here, where the bodies of these candles are not touching, and then get us into this daily FVG while still being in this weekly fair value gap. You see, we have plenty of room to go still before we're fully in this weekly value gap. We are in this weekly order block as well. These two up candles would be your order block. So just waiting to see if we get any kind of rejection off these or this weekly. I do think we have a little more to go because of ES, which I will show you here in a second. But you see, if you draw like this is your daily, you can kind of see we have just hit the center of it. We're actually above the center of it or the CE of it. What I'm going to be looking for is maybe a rejection off the CE of the weekly, which we're pretty much at right now. If we draw our fib here, our fib lines from the point 0.5 to here, you see we kind of rejected the CE of it today. That was like the high of today at that 212 level. So that's going to be an important spot that I'm looking for on NQ going into tomorrow, uh, especially on the weekly. The daily, obviously, we're still there. ES is the big one that I'm going to be watching because ES has been lagging NQ quite a bit. We have not tapped into any daily fair value gaps since since bouncing from this daily down here. And so what I'm going to be watching is I think we might get not a retest, sorry. I think we might get a test of this daily fair value gap before we get any kind of downside. I do expect some kind of downside going into later this week. I think tomorrow, gun to my head, I'm gonna say tomorrow will be high of the week, and then we have like maybe something like this tomorrow, and then maybe this, maybe a retrace a little bit on Thursday, and then Friday we get like here, and we kind of just close maybe in another doji type week. That's kind of what I'm looking for uh, going into the rest of this week, just based on today. Obviously, we could keep pushing higher. It's going to depend where our daily candles close in relation to these daily fair value gaps. But obviously, we've come a long way now. NQ is up 600 points from the bottom here, and we have to remember NQ still has these relative equal lows sitting down here on the daily that will be a target at some point. Not a full bear, just saying these are still here. We just have to be aware and keep yourself mentally prepared that we could come back at any time. Based on the seasonality charts, this is we usually see low a low in the markets like around late September, early October. So this could be it, and who knows? I mean, if we start closing back above like this daily, we close above the weekly fair value gap this week. We're probably looking back up to that 15,700 range at least, and then maybe back to all-time highs. So that's just what I'm looking at on NQ and ES. One more thing to note: 4,400 would be the daily fair value gap here on ES. However, if you go to the weekly chart, you see the weekly comes down a little bit closer to where we are now, and it's a little bit wider range, kind of like NQ. Both dailies are incorporated in this weekly. This weekly starts at 43.82, so we could get some kind of rejection off there. Uh, I'm only looking for rejections because we ran so much now, and you don't want to be longing up this high without some kind of a pullback, maybe into like an hourly or a 15-minute FVG, and then maybe get a confirmation long, which I'll show you that here in a second. So tomorrow on ES, I'm looking for a push into 43.82, and then if we still remain bullish, looking for a push into let's see if I can bring it back up here. Looking for a push into this daily fair value gap here at 4,400, and then obviously any more strength from there takes up to this higher one at 44.47. So that's what I'm looking at on the higher time frame. ES, NQ. Let's go down to an hourly time frame here. kind of see with our push today, we left this hourly FEG. This will tell us tonight and into tomorrow morning what we can kind of expect for tomorrow. This will be the condition going into tonight. Same for ES. It'll be this hourly here. We'll get rid of this weekly, and I'll be watching this. So you see, we've kind of already tapped into this hourly on ES. Like I said, as long as this holds, look for that 43.82, maybe a push to 4400 tomorrow. NQ. Let's see, we got to go to a higher time frame chart here, but you kind of see if this holds, we'll probably push through this hourly, this little hourly, and then we're probably gonna push back up to like 15 390. But it is possible we get some kind of pullback, you know. So I mean, we could get something like down to like this 15, or back into this 15 inside the hourly. Just have to stay on your toes. You don't want to be longing up here. You're just plain chasing at this time. So if you're looking for any kind of confirmation, for those who aren't like aware of what I mean by like a confirmation, so say we get some kind of setup down here to the 15, you would be looking for, okay, say we get a pullback into here, we bounce out of here. You don't just want to blindly long this. A better long would be boom and come back. An FEG would be formed in here, showing you momentum and that the price is willing to go back higher. You would then long this. So it's basically like if this FEG, this 15-minute FEG creates an FEG out of it, you can then relong this one. This would be your confirmation, and that way you have a better stop, and you have like it's basically like a second confirmation, exactly what's called a confirmation setup, and then you can look for a long maybe like back to these highs, and then maybe runners from there. So that's kind of what I mean when I'm talking about confirmations. With that, you kind of see what happened today on NQ. Obviously, we opened with a gap. Go down to the 15-minute chart. Obviously, these gaps on futures always fill. It's kind of like VIX. Like these gaps will never remain open. Uh, at least, okay, we'll say like 97% of the time. You kind of see like we woke up this morning. This 15 would not give up. It was also a 5 minute. If you went even smaller, you could draw this down to the 5 minute and see how this 5 minute held. But just keep things quick here. You see the 15-minute hold. So we knew as long as we held this 15-minute this morning that we were still bullish as long as this held, and price would most likely go and fill this gap. And you see that's exactly what we did. ES is an even better example because NQ did not come back to its zero point 0.5 fib or its 50% retracement of Friday's move. If you look at this on ES, this is absolutely textbook. It's pure ICT to the core. You get your Friday pump, and then you get a retracement. Obviously, we gapped down last night. You see how we barely wicked below the zero point 0.5, and then pure longs right up here to our magnet at this gap fill at 43.40, which we did take a long position from this morning. So, and we did catch that from 43.30 to 43.40. So, 10 points on ES is a very good day.